sweet friends, I hope you are all doing well. Welcome to day 4 of our 13 days of Halloween series. And if you're just joining in, you can find links for the first 3 days at the top of the description so you can get caught up. And don't forget to listen throughout the video for the question of the day. Today we're creating a fun and festive banner. I have made loads of banners and I've always reached for a uniquely shaped die to create the base. Then I would have to punch holes to run the ribbon through and was really left with not as much space to include all the paper layering and finishing details that I love. So today I'm going to create a set of A2 size greeting cards, and then we're going to bring them together to create a banner by sandwiching trim between those layers of the cardstock. And this was so much fun to create. I think you're gonna love it. So if that sounds good to you, then stick around and we'll make it together. I've got the Monster Mash collection here from Echo Park. This was my wild card. I just wasn't absolutely sure about the color palette, and also these images are much more whimsical and youth inspired than I would generally take, but I am trying new things this year, and so this was the one that I picked up, and I have to tell you, so far I absolutely love it. I have this project for today planned, and then another project for the series coming up with this same collection. So I'm excited to be using this. I've got this 12 by 12 collection, and thankfully it includes that sticker sheet. So this is what I'm using to get my focal images. I put these on a piece of paper and cut them back out so that I could move them around and position them exactly where I want. And then I've also chosen some of the banners from this sticker sheet as well. So I can get lots of details and layering, and I didn't even have to get into those journal cutter parts. So let's get started on our banner. Of course, that A2 size card will be the base, and I've got my grape colored cardstock here. It is cut to be 11 inches high by 4 1/4 wide, and then I scored it at 5 1/2. So here is that top folding A2 size card, and this is going to be the base. I'm also going to incorporate a layer of 110-pound cardstock so that I get a lot of sturdiness from this. And so this one is just cut to be 5 1/2 high by 4 1/4 wide, and it will be inside the card, and we'll close it up when we add the trim, and it will be secured inside. Okay, let's go ahead and start the paper layers. I have the background here, a beautiful minty color, 5 3/8 high by 4 1/8 wide. And I'm gonna get that really cool border of that purpley cardstock showing all the way around. And then I'm gonna top it with another layer of that cardstock. And so this is going to be 5 high by 3 3/4, and popping that up on a spacer. So we can start to build some dimension here. And that just goes right into the center. And then the next layer is that very fun cobweb and moon. It is 4 7/8 of an inch high by 3 5/8 of an inch wide. And that just goes right in the center again, so you can see that we're just building up these layers as we work along. And of course I do want to add a layering pattern. So this is 2 3 5/8 wide. I put a layer of that cardstock here just to keep those busy paper sections separate so it doesn't look too busy. And now we can begin adding that fun stuff. So of course I've got my small Recollections die. This is 3 1/2 inch wide, so it is a perfect size for these A2 size cards. And you'll notice that I'm positioning this all the way to the top of that layered section, and then in the middle from right to left. And this is going to give us room on the bottom for all of those flowers that we want to add. And so of course I want to incorporate some additional details. This is just a pretty little glitter star, and I cut it with some paper that was kind of reminding me of that background. It's not a perfect match, but I think it's close enough. This is going to set this here, and that will show from behind this small die cut circle. This has a stitched edge. I've also popped that up on a spacer, and so here's more dimension. We're just building in all of those fun layers. Now I did mention that my focal images are coming from that sticker sheet, and I chose 3 that were similar size, and kind of they all had the trick-or-treaters on them, so they had the same theme. And so I'm just going to position that so that I can have a little bit of extra room on the bottom there, and that is going straight on to that die cut circle. I don't have a dimension on that layer because I did want to add a banner, and that is one of those sweet little sentiments. So I'm just going to position that here. I don't want to cover up too much of those funny little striped socks, so let's go ahead and add that. Now, the last element for this particular card is going to be flowers, and for this particular one, I have 1 purple flower created and then 2 oranges. There are some die cut leaves from a dark gray, netting and loopy twine bows. So this is going to be the center section, and so I'm creating a slightly larger arrangement just to fill in that bottom. I'm just going to position that, making sure that I don't cover up those funny little socks. Okay, so we have to have more than 1 section if it's going to be a banner, and I have created those already. So as you can see, my theme for my little trick-or-treaters goes all the way across the banner. For the outside sections here, I have only 1 orange flower, and I did move my star down so that it kind of creates a little bit of a balance here for the right and the left. And so I've got my flowers going all the way across, and then I did move that star down to take up a little bit of extra room. So in order to hang these A2 size cards as a banner, I'm going to include this very sweet 3/8 of an inch plaid ribbon. Now, I really want to have some flexibility on where I can hang this, and so I may need a little bit of extra trim on each side. So I want to find my center, and then I'm going to incorporate that trim into these cards, and then when I fold them up, it will sandwich that in there and secure it. So one thing I want to do is also leave a tiny little bit of extra room between these sections so that I can include a couple of extra details. So I'll just go ahead and open up my card here and pull the backing off of my double-sided tape. Then I will slide this in behind and have that position right against the score line at the top there. Then when I fold my card over, I'll get that trim right in between those layers, and now it will be very secure. So I'll go ahead and do that for the other 2 cards as well. I definitely think that this is so much easier than having to punch those holes and thread the trim through, and it always got folded up, and so this is just so much easier. Now let's go ahead and get this one into position, and then we'll continue to work along. So as I'm doing this, it's a really good time for the question of the day. Would you choose a pumpkin spice or a hot apple cider? Now, I have picked cider in the past, but this year I have purchased a really cool frother, and so it looks a little bit like a coffee grinder, but it froths the milk, and I have discovered that you can put all of the flavored creamers into it. So I picked up my pumpkin spice creamer, and I made that delicious foam, made my own latte. So now I can have that whenever I want throughout the day, and I don't have to go to the coffee shop. So I'm gonna pick pumpkin spice, and you can let me know in the comments what is your pick. I feel like this is probably one of the more controversial questions because people either really love it or they really don't. So let me know in the comments. Okay, so I did mention that I was going to add a couple of extra items between these cards and on the ends just for a little bit of extra detail. And so I have taken the offcuts from that minty color in the back, and a very, very, very small tag die that had a stitched edge detail. I cut that from the collection paper. I cut an additional one from 110-pound cardstock, so it will be very sturdy. And then I also die cut another little star here in a grape color, and this makes, and I've got that star cut to be just small enough to fit into the border. So none of those fragile bits are going to hang over. So I'm going to take my string here and loop it back on itself and then thread that through the hole on the top of the tag and pull it through the loop. But first, I want to add it to the ribbon. So I'm going to just scooch that underneath. Make sure the tag is in the front, and then run it through that loop. And now it will be well secured onto that ribbon on the top. So I'll do the same thing for the other three. So I've got all those smaller tags in place. I'm going to flip this over and run that string behind so that I can secure it onto the back. So I just wrap that around and tape that down so it would be secured. I'll go ahead and repeat that for the remaining three tags. Now I've got my string all neatly tucked away and secured on the back. Let's flip this over one more time. You will notice that I have secured those little die cut stars closer to the bottom of the tag. That is because I want to cover the string on top with some bows, and so I don't want to lose that detail in all of the layering. So I've just taken my beautiful delicate stitch satin ribbon from Really Reasonable Ribbon, tapped that with a loopy twine bow and a coordinating button, and then I'm just going to hot glue that right on to the top of that tag. Before I get my glue out, I just want to position that nonstick mat. It's actually a Dollar Tree placemat, but I don't want my hot glue sticking to my table, so if any of it squeezes through, that will catch it before it sticks down to the surface. So for a 3-section banner, you're gonna need 4 bows. There were additional images on that sticker sheet, so if you wanted to have more than 3 sections, you could easily do that. Just continue to work along, and because this was so much faster and easier, I would say just have as many sections as you need to fill the space that you're trying to decorate. So here is that banner for day 4. Make sure you come back tomorrow for day 5. And if you're enjoying this tutorial, let me know in the comments. Give me a big thumbs up for this video. And I'll leave links in the description for the products I mentioned, as well as all of our socials. If you're not already, I would love for you to subscribe to join our crafty little family. As always, I'm wishing you a happy and productive day, and I thank you so much for watching. Bye.